Welcome back to the Knife Collector's channel once again. Today I have for you all the Benchmade 470-1 Emissary. And while this knife was well looked at and reviewed, watched YouTube videos on, and I really wasn't too impressed with this knife at first. I was just looking at it and was like, man, this is not one I want to get. Basically because of the spring assist on this knife. But once I got the knife, and I got this knife from Blade HQ. Once I got the knife in hand, I really love the way this knife looked. I mean, for those of you who, let's move this out of the way. For those of you who dress up and, you know, you go to church and you want to look nice, this knife is an excellent EDC/gentleman's folder for like church, weddings, you know, formals that you go to, and graduations. Well, you got to be careful because some of them don't allow knives in there, but it's just a user-friendly type knife. I mean, it's just, like I said, it's a spring assist, so it just flies out of there. Look at that. Look at that blade. And I mean, it's almost like a automatic. I mean, it's just as fast. I mean, that's got a safety on it where you can see that little piece in there. If you can see that, how that goes in behind the thumb stud and blocks that in there so you can't open it. That locks it shut, so when you go to try to open it, it won't open. The safety, to me, it's a good thing, especially if you got a spring assist. And I know me, I'm clumsy. I'd be done stab myself in the leg, so I'm glad to see that on there. A lot of people are not too thrilled for safeties on knives, but I'm glad to see some kind of safety on a knife. I mean, I'm just really impressed. This is also a Warren Osborne design. As you see, it's got Osborne written on the back there. Like I said, I wasn't too fond of this knife at first. In fact, I had the Benchmade Amicus, or I think it's called the Arcane now. And man, I sent that thing right back. I mean, it was just, got a hold of the knife, and I think I ordered it from Blade Ops, and it just had too much blade play in the blade and wiggle in the blade. I just didn't like it. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, it was awful. But then I got the Arcane. I said, well, the Emissary. I said, well, let me get the Emissary and see if it's any better. And so when I returned that, though, I didn't get the Emissary. I got another knife, but I ended up ordering the Emissary a few weeks afterwards. And I got to tell you, the Benchmade Emissary is the one. It's the perfect knife. No blade play, no up and down, no side to side. It's a solid knife. It's a solid knife. Overall length of the Emissary is 6.90 ounces with a 3-inch blade. Blade material, of course, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's try to focus in on that. It's a CPM S30V. It's got a Rockwell hardness of 58 to 60. Of course, it's a drop point. Flat grind. Satin blade material. Handle material is aluminum, which I love aluminum. I love aluminum handles on knives. I mean, to me, I can really roll with aluminum. You know, mine don't have to be titanium, but that aluminum, aluminum handles on a knife, it just makes that knife look way sweeter. I mean, it's just, and the weight of the knife is like 2.20 ounces. So it's lightweight. It's not going to weigh your pocket down. You don't want to be carrying some pocket weight in your pocket, wearing it down. On the plus side, I do like some of my heavier knives because you can feel it's there. This is like you're not even carrying a knife. I mean, you may think, oh, wait a minute, did I lose my knife? You might be nervous. I mean, and with good reason. I mean, this knife, before it's marked down, I think it's like it's discontinued. It's about to be discontinued. You can still get it on Blade HQ. Now, I paid, I think it was $220 for this knife after everything's said and done. But right now, Blade HQ has it on there for $179. And if I was you, I would hurry up and jump on the Benchmade Emissary while you still can. You remember I told you in a few videos back with, I haven't reviewed yet, but the Benchmade Fact is discontinued. And you can't even get that no more. You got to really search. You probably can find it on eBay or something like that if you really search for it. But to have this knife, this quality of a knife, at that price point of $179.99 is not a bad price. So I'm telling you, if you can, jump on Blade HQ and get it right away. I mean, I just love the fit and finish of this knife. I like the stainless pocket clip, deep carry. I mean, it's just an enjoyable knife to carry. I hardly ever want to carry it anywhere else, even though I love it so much. It's just, for me, it's a dress-up knife. It's something that you wear with your tuxedo or something like that. So I don't really carry this blade out unless I'm going to church or something like that. But I do love it. I've seen a friend of mine from the church. Shout out to Scott. Scott, if you're listening, hey, man, thank you for the encouragement, because I wanted to get this knife because I seen his. And he used it, and he had nice. I said, oh, it's a nice little pocket knife. And really, I didn't want to get it until I actually handled his. Because let's face it, not all of us is a fan of spring-assisted knives. I mean, you know, spring assist is all good and everything, but it's funner when you have that access lock, when you can just push that access lock down and it just flies shut. This, you got to take, and by spring assist, I mean you have to hold this down, that tension. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, a lot of people can, let's see if I can, you know, it might be kind of hard to do on a camera, but yeah, you can one hand close that. But a lot of people like knives where you can one hand close them for the convenient factor. You know, you got a lot of people that, you know, may not, you know, be able to use both hands. So it's a good tool to have for that. I mean, it's not as hard to do as you think it is. If you practice on it, you can do it one hand open and shut on this knife. With that being said, the Benchmade Emissary, and I think they made a larger version of this knife, which I think is really discontinued now. You'll be hard-pressed to find that, but I'm sure if you look around eBay or in different places, you might be able to find it. But I just love the size and the fit and finish on this blade. The only thing that I dislike on this, and I mean, it's the same thing with the 940. The handle is chalky and smooth. Like, I mean, granted, and I can get 4 hands on it, barely, you know, and I got large hands. But there's no jimping. It can use some jimping on the back. But you are locked in real good right here. You see how I'm locked in right there? It could have used some kind of texturing on there to give you a little bit more lockup. The good thing about it is, unlike the Griptilian, that if you wear it with so many clothes, like your dress clothes, with the material on the Griptilian, it can tear your pocket. It's got that the ridges on there. But it's overall, it's a good knife. I recommend this knife. In fact, I know I talked about this knife, but I am thinking about purchasing another one at that price point for $179, and just keeping it for, you know, older age, young man right now. But when I get up in age, I would like to have something that show my grandkids what I used to carry, you know, because knives are just going to get better and better in the future. But some of these old classic knives, like the Benchmade Griptilian, the Benchmade 940, the Microtech, SOCOM Elite, and you know, some of the other Microtech classics, Spider Code, Manix 2, lightweight, regular Manix 2 with G10. These knives are just classics. So, you know, if you don't have these type of blades in your collection, that might be something you need to look forward to. Well, back to the Benchmade Emissary. This knife is, to me, folks, one of the best EDCs to carry. You remember, there's a lot of people on YouTube that love the Benchmade Mini Griptilian. And this is just a slightly little bit longer than that. So if you like the Benchmade Mini Griptilian, wait till you feel this. I mean, the Griptilian is a classic. Like any, you know, like I say, the Griptilians is always in my pocket. That's one of the most carried knives that I have in my possession. Simply because, I mean, to be real, Griptilians are, what, 144 now? And it's like more or less my beater knife. So I could take that. I mean, I'm not going to beat on it like, you know, baton with it. But it's my knife that I carry where I'm not afraid to really get after it, which I'm not afraid to get after it with none of my knives. But if I wanted a knife to where I would just cut anything and try anything on it, it would be the Griptilian. But like I said, this is my gentleman's folder, my church knife, and I enjoy it very much. And I think everybody who gets their hand on the Benchmade Emissary 47-1 will enjoy it as well. Well, folks, thanks again for watching The Knife Collector. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.